She's never sure. They're never sure if they should actually push the button to go live because they're like, I mean, go. Welcome to Open Mic with Allie and Michelle, our Friday edition where we are double trouble in studio, having fun already on TikTok Live.
Yes, again, because I appealed it after we got cut yesterday in the middle of our show.
You did repeal it.
I did appeal it, and they approved it. So
Okay.
Good morning, Patriot family. It is Freedom Friday today on Open Mic. We are so glad to have our audience, not just on TikTok, but on Spotify, on YouTube, on Rumble, on X. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. We have a lot to cover.
We have a ton to cover. Plus, we've got a wonderful guest who's going to be joining us. He goes by Never Woke, and he was out there during these No King protests, which apparently worked because we still have President Trump, so no jeopardy of having a king.
Thank goodness.
That's great. I mean, it's really wonderful. But, you know, they were not, the party of love and peace and inclusion was not so loving to him. So we're going to let him tell his story. Plus, we're going to talk a little bit more about what's been going on with the government shutdown. We've got some fun memes coming later, so you guys aren't going to want to miss it. Plus, we'll get a little clip from Tim Burchett, one of our favorite representatives. We love him. So, Allie, I guess let's just open the mic.
Taking back our freedom, back to where we started. We're wearing our red hat tonight. It takes more than just a feeling. Oh, better be believing, and America's gonna be home.
What do you do when they try to cancel you? MAGA Nation, we cancel proof. My red hat stays on. My red hat stays on. You know I love God, but in Trump I trust. November 5th, he gon' ride with us. Our red hat stays on. Our red hat stays on. It's the mayor of Maggie,ville, the RNC king. 2024, freedom gon' ring. Mr. Red, White, and Blue. I'm still fighting for each one of you. And keep your red hat on.
What we do? All right, keep that red hat, metaphorical red hat on, that America First spirit. Don't let it go anywhere. I know we're well past 2024, but there's still so much that we have to do.
Guys, we still have 3 years left. I know it's like we still have, and then some people say we only have. I'm like, either way,
so that's what's interesting. We're kind of in this honeymoon phase, or as some call it, like a cupcake phase with President Trump, right? So it's still so new and exciting, but I feel like he's done so much in just the first, 8-9 months. Buckle up.
Right.
There's still so much more to do.
Insane. 8 wars. Like solved.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, Allie, let's go ahead and kick off the show. First of all, wherever you're joining us from, make sure you comment below.
Yes,
let us know. Where you're watching from. Make sure if you have access to TikTok, you can join us TikTok Live, get a little bit of behind the scenes. I will just say viewer discretion advised.
It is. I'm live, not on Open Mic, ladies. I'm live on Allie Marie. That's my personal TikTok right now. And
ALYMARIE.
Yes. And if ALYMARIE. And if you guys type into the comments, I'll make sure I can put it on air. So we do that all the time we've been doing it this week.
Yeah.
So thanks for joining, you guys. Appreciate it.
So last night, the unthinkable happened. Senate Democrats blocked a bill that would have only paid for the essential workers. You know, those ones that they told you could go to work, not the non-essential. The essential workers. The Schumer shutdown is officially affecting your neck of the woods because they're not even trying to pay for essential workers. Take a look. I think we just have the video without the sound. So this is them doing what they do best. They're going through, reading the roll call vote. They could not get it together. They could not get 60 votes to pass to fund just essential workers. I mean, Allie, who does this include? This has got to include our military. It has to include the people,
it's
the
our military
that are in there.
The staff that's currently working right now with no pay for the Democrats, which I think they should just all leave and not go to work. They would be lost without their staffers, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they do.
But it's our federal workers, it's TSA, it's the FAA.
We're flying soon.
I know. I know. I'm nervous. I'm so scared.
Lord, put your angels over the wings of the aircraft.
Lord. But no, they're grounding a lot of the flights because they don't have enough people to serve them. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of people. It's SNAP, It's although WIC has been funded with tariffs, I think President Trump is looking on how to fund SNAP as well. But those federal funding ends November 1st, so October 31st. And actually, I got an exclusive message from a friend of mine who lives in California. She sent me a message, and it said, from California, it literally said that Trump and the Republicans have shut down the government, and your CalFresh benefits will lapse October 31st. So their tax dollars are being paid to be used as propaganda politically, as political warfare, because that's exactly what that is. That's not
happens,
true.
Allie, and we had this in our private conversation. What happens when you've got messaging coming from the Democrats saying that because the only way you're not getting your food benefits is because of Republicans? If they're not tuning in and getting the information firsthand from themselves,
I'm just going to believe that.
Absolutely. But then when this starts affecting your cupboards and your children's tummies, people get
they're going to get
outrageous.
Exactly, which is why I think that
rhetoric dialing up.
Why I think, one, we need to push really hard to repeal the Smith Modernization Act of 2012. Yes. Okay, so that our news has to give the truth. Mm-hmm. Now, I also believe that this is part of a color revolution that is occurring in our country.
Absolutely.
When you have a part of our government that wants to sow division and chaos by lying to the people, saying that the Republicans are the ones that are closing the government, which is not what this is. You need 60 votes to pass this continued resolution, which is a continued resolution that has been passed before by Democrats 18 times.
And the Republicans were all, they were all hard.
Republicans have voted for this CR. No Democrats have voted for this CR. They won't even vote to fund, I would say feed, but yes, to fund federal workers.
Well, and take a look, because we've got insider Tim Burchett comes out, obviously, and has this to say. He's giving you some inside information. Take a listen.
Hey, everybody. Tim Burchett. I don't know if y'all heard it or not. It really ticks me off. The Democrats blocked a Republican initiative to pay the essential workers in the federal government. This is ridiculous. This is just... When the Democrats tell you something, you need to start listening. Telling us that that this is their leverage, and that they're gaining on us or something like that. This is pathetic, folks. This is pure.
Let's bring it back, Krista.
Political.
It's pathetic, and I love what he's saying. When the Democrats tell you something, believe them.
Yes.
We saw that the House Minority Whip, Catherine, I don't remember her last name. I'm just going to call her by first name like we're besties. She came out and said in an interview that, we know this is hurting the American people. We know it's hurting the middle class.
Right.
But this is our only
leverage
chess game that we can play.
So starving families, right, is a leverage for them. What happens when people go hungry? What happens when federal funding for housing doesn't come in?
But let's remember, Allie, they were not afraid to shut everything down in 2020 with COVID. This is 2.0. They already showed you who they are. They want to cover your faces, which, ushers in, as soon as they tell you because of Sharia law, you have to, you're going to be like, oh, I did it for COVID, so sure, I'll do it for this. But they're not afraid to shut us down. They're not afraid to shut down the benefits that you rely on. Good news. We have a philanthropist who has, according to President Trump, who has come out and offered to fund some of this. Take a listen to Trump.
And a friend of mine, talking about donors, a friend of mine, a man that's great. I'm not going to use his name unless he lets me do it. Susie can tell you about this, but he called us the other day and he said, I'd like to contribute any shortfall you have because of the Democrat shutdown. I'd like to personally contribute any shortfall you have with the military, because I love the military and I love the country, and any shortfall, if there's a shortfall, I'll contribute it. And today he sent us a check for $130 million. Wow,
$130 million. We can bring it back.
He doesn't.
Well, they're wanting to stay silent, and actually, that's a giver's heart, right? They don't necessarily need the accolades, but so we have now philanthropic people supporting our nation and our military because the Democrats can't get their act together. Allie, this has got to hurt you because, you all fought for our country, put your families and yourselves second and went and did your duty, and these guys can't even get it together to pass.
It's really frustrating to see. It really, really is. And I wonder how many people really understand what actually is going on. I had a really lengthy conversation with James Lindsay about it last night, and my mind is blown. And we keep coming around to this circle, like, well, what do we do? And it's like, you have to inform people. I'm like, I get that, but what are action steps? And he's like, he's like, you're doing the right thing by informing people and telling people to make phone calls and visit their elected representatives, to elect new people, to keep the pressure on, apply your political pressure at the appropriate political pressure points. He's like, you're doing what is necessary, short from kinetic, which nobody wants. Nobody wants that. Unless you're a Democrat.
It's crazy. We will keep it locked here, guys. Make sure that you follow Allie and I on social media at Real Allie Leger, at Michelle Posey, and at Open Mic Ladies on all platforms, because we will follow this even through the weekend. Allie, you sent this to me, and I tell you, I haven't been able to watch the NBA in a long time, ever since they couldn't stand for the national anthem.
And like, I don't like LeBron James.
I don't either. Ew.
His fake acting.
But
like,
so
nobody hit you in the nose, sir. Go sit down. Acting like a 2-year-old. Like, have you ever seen a 2-year-old, like, when their sibling, like, just gently taps them and they, like, completely fall? It's like, Bobby. And I'm just like, bro.
But take a listen to what the FBI Director Kash Patel had to say on an ongoing investigation. The mafia and the NBA, what? Take a listen.
Individuals such as Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, and Terry Rozier were taken into custody today. Former, current NBA players and coaches. What you don't know is that this is an illegal gambling operation and sports rigging operation that spanned the course of years. The FBI led a coordinated takedown across 11 states to arrest over 30 individuals today responsible for this case, which is very much ongoing. Not only did we crack into the fraud that these perpetrators committed on the grand stage of the NBA, but we also entered and executed a system of justice against La Casa Nostra to include the Bonanno, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchese crime families.
Okay, so for the TikTok audience, I know that they can't hear, and I'm so sorry.
But they're seeing my reaction.
I'm so sorry. You're seeing our reaction. So there has been a few NBA coaches that have been arrested and some players, and they named.
Okay.
Go ahead.
The Gambino family as one. But so here's my question to all the viewers out there. So this has been going on with the NBA, kind of like a fixing and betting on the outcomes. Do we think it's just the NBA? Should there be, I'm old enough to remember Pete Rose, and he should have been a Hall of Famer, and then he kind of got caught up in gambling on the outcomes of sports. Should they also be looking into Major League Baseball, the NFL? Do you think it's something that's just the NBA? I don't know. I don't know.
I think it's football. I think it's
because maybe this is why at times the Bears defense seems to be in a deep slumber and hibernation. I don't know. I would like to think that it's something other than talent.
Conservative. He says Gambino, as in the sports podcast guy from AZ. I don't know. Maybe.
Love you, Blue-Eyed Conservative. Love you.
Really
That's really good. Oh my gosh,
you're the best.
You're the best. Send that heart out to him. Guys, it gets even better or worse depending on which side of the aisle you sit on. I like to see all of this discovery coming out. Of course, Tulsi Gabbard.
You want to throw things.
Tulsi Gabbard's going to tell you a little bit more.
Here, I'm gonna see if I can get
about what happened at the border under the Biden administration. Take a listen.
The most insidious was providing intelligence to the Mexican law enforcement that led to the arrest of a CJNG cartel-affiliated baby trafficker called La Diabla. Her whole money-making operation was centered around luring pregnant women, performing illegal C-sections, harvesting organs, and selling newborn babies. Mr. President, it's your leadership that has made all of this possible. I can tell you, in the midst of this government shutdown, our folks, like everyone around this table, are working 24/7 without pay and eager to get after this because they believe in your leadership and the mission that you have presented to them. Thank you, Mr. President. I'll hand this off to
Oh my gosh, for our TikTok live audience, that is the Department of National Security Director Tulsi Gabbard talking about not just the the border crossings that what took place at the border with human trafficking, but also that there were people specifically in charge of getting those that are pregnant pulling them aside, conducting C-sections, and
then
either selling the body
their
parts or
babies.
selling the baby. Biden, Harris. I mean, Biden didn't know this was going on. They had a little Tykes Oval Office for him so he could play president. He didn't know what was going on. But you can't say that Kamala Harris, the borders didn't know that this was going on. This is a new low. And just when you think that you're on the floor with the Biden administration, they go even lower.
It is, I mean, that is just egregious. Like I cannot even imagine being a pregnant woman, thinking you're coming to a free country, to a country where the American dream you've heard of your entire life, right? You're going to go, me and my kids are going to have a better life. You go, they put you aside and say that they lie to you and say that you're going to go somewhere special for pregnant women. And then you wake up, or you don't wake up, you wake up and your baby's gone and you're cut wide open. Like, where's my baby?
This is
Like,
why
can you imagine?
this is why it was so important for President Trump to name the cartels as a terrorist organization. That's why you're seeing them go after people in the Gulf of America that are trying to bring these narco terrorists. But it's also because they are behaving much like an uncivilized third world nation, like an ISIS or a Hamas. That's how they're behaving. So if they want to do those egregious crimes, we're going to go after them with a full force.
Absolutely.
Military.
I mean, Pete Hegseth said it. If you behave like Al Qaeda, we're going to treat you like Al Qaeda. And that's exactly how they're behaving.
We're going to skip on our first commercial break because I want to make sure you guys stay tuned. We've got Never Woke here coming up after this commercial break. He's going to talk specifically about what he experienced at the No Kings protest, as well as what it takes to just be out there speaking your mind, speaking truth to people in this day and age. Don't go anywhere. More open mic after this message.
From the heart of Marietta, Georgia, comes a tribute to the spirit of liberty. Liberty Cigars, where history meets craftsmanship. Each cigar tells a story. The Founders Collection honors the visionaries who shaped a nation. The President's House Collection celebrates the leaders who steered it. And the Naval Series salutes the heroes who defended it. Handcrafted with precision, each blend mirrors the essence of its namesake. From the boldness of George Washington to the elegance of Thomas Jefferson. Indulge in a moment of reflection. Light a Liberty cigar and savor the legacy. Discover your story at libertycigars.com because every great nation deserves a great cigar. Liberty Cigars, smoke the history. And don't forget to use promo code OPENMIC for 10% off your order.
Gold IRA companies are a dime a dozen, especially in conservative media. We vetted out 34 companies and chose Augusta Precious Metals.
With the lowest across-the-board spreads in the gold IRA industry, Augusta saves Americans thousands of dollars.
They are the only major gold IRA company that has zero complaints from their customers. Zero. None.
Augusta Precious Metals does not have commissioned sales reps, which means their goals are aligned with yours.
They were the only gold IRA company that demonstrated integrity and transparency without using gimmicks.
The informative one-on-one web conferences by Augusta Precious Metals answer all of their customers' questions before they make a move.
If you're ready to learn about protecting your wealth and retirement with gold and silver, request your free gold guide from Augusta Precious Metals today.
Visit patriot.tv/gold. That's patriot.tv/gold today.
Welcome back to Open Mic with Allie and Michelle, our Friday edition. Both of us double what?
I don't know what you're saying.
I'm speaking Spanglish in here today. The Trouble Mint twins here live in the studio. We're grateful for you wherever you're listening and watching. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. You need to support your independent journalists and independent influencers because, guys, we are where you're getting the frontline videos from.
Influencer, just like I hate politician, but
I wish they'd bring a different name. It's truth givers.
Sure. Put a link tree on the bio and we can always follow you around. Thank you for that. We're working on it.
Guys, I have a very special guest coming up next. We had the pleasure of meeting him at Turning Point Student Action Summit. We actually interviewed him there. He has a remarkable story of what he does by wearing the MAGA hat and just seeing how offensive that red hat is to some people. We welcome to Open Mic Never Woke. Thank you so much for joining us today, sir.
What's up, ladies? How are y'all?
Great. How are you? My gosh, I love the energy this morning. How you doing?
Doing great. I want to make a comment about LeBron James. Shout out to Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player of all time.
That part, yes.
But I do like
Michael Jordan.
I do like Space Jam, so I'll give him a little bit of props. Yeah. So
But yeah, I mean the first one, not the second. I don't know what they did
like both
with
of
the
them.
second one. It was not that great. I mean,
you're a hater. It's fine.
yes,
The fact that Michael Jordan could share, honestly, he shared the spotlight with not only Scottie Pippen, then they brought in Dennis Rodman.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, and he just, a real leader can do that, can be like, all right.
And he didn't flop. So
Right, he did. That's pretty amazing.
Unlike LeBron.
I'm picking up what you're laying down. I like that. I like that. So I want you to tell our viewers, first of all, okay, so what is it that you do with Why Never Woke? Why the MAGA hat everywhere?
Yeah.
And how did you get started in doing this?
Yeah, so I grew up a Democrat. My dad was this big wig in pro football. He was the head coach at a pretty prestigious college and NFL and all that stuff. I'm not going to say his name because I'm not trying to dox myself for obvious reasons because people are trying to kill me.
Oh
so
my
anyway,
gosh.
I grew up with Bill Clinton. I grew up with my dad worked for Trump. Not going to give you any more details. George Bush, all that stuff. But I was a big Democrat. And then I remember 20, 30 years ago, like the Democrats were like, all the stuff that I stand for today. I'm anti-war. I'm government, not corruption. And all of a sudden it seems like, whenever the Republicans 20, 30 years ago, all the things that I thought they were, like today, the Democrats are everything that I stand against. So I got saved in the 8th grade, got real big into church. This was during the time of George W. Bush. Wow. And I couldn't necessarily like support like the war, but I was kind of like middle right leaning. So I think that's exactly what I am today. Long story short, Donald Trump comes around. That's the first time I voted for anyone. I voted for Trump 3 times. And after Butler, Pennsylvania, that's the first time I put on a MAGA hat. And I had no idea. I had no idea how triggered this really MAGA hat was. So I go to all these. Go ahead.
It's crazy. It is crazy how the words "Make America Great Again" can trigger hate in someone's heart. Like their heads explode, their eyes go black, and like their heads explode. And it's like, you're a racist. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, you're like literally
Make
black.
America great.
How are you racist? You're black.
Like, they tell her, they're like, you're a white supremacist. And she's like, are you not seeing clearly?
It makes no sense. The Democrats from 20, 30 years ago are not the Democrats today. Like a lot of these Joe Rogan, even Donald Trump was a Democrat. Everyone's like coming to the right, maybe middle right. There's some people that are extreme right, but like, I think a majority of America, you saw it in this last election, like a lot of us are just middle right. We just want common sense. We want the government to stay out of the way, stop disrupting like our, day-to-day life and stop like creating foreign wars. Like I'm all for world peace and Donald Trump's doing a great job. I think he could do better, like putting his foot down with like Russia, Ukraine, but like it's way better than Biden just sleeping for freaking 4 years, So
well, and that's part of it too. Like part of what I love what you do, Never Woke, is that you similar to Charlie Kirk, right? You go out there and you engage in conversation. So when somebody has a protest, most of us in our heart and in our mind think, okay, I'm going to avoid that intersection on such and such day. But you not so much, because you're like, wait, these are people just like me. First of all, I want people to be able to see what's going on. And second of all, what if we just engaged in some simple conversation to see why they feel the way they do? I want to play just a short clip. This was one of my favorites because really, at first, you're really, this person can't, it's like they can't not like you. You know what I mean? Through the conversation until they realize how triggered they are by absolutely nothing. Take a listen real quick.
Go away. Please go away. Please go away. Shut illegal immigrants vote. Go away now. Such a MAGA moron, huh?
Huh?
You're a MAGA moron, huh?
I voted Donald Trump.
Yeah, I say you're a MAGA moron.
Is that okay that I voted?
It's okay that you voted, but you're still a MAGA moron.
Why do you think a majority of people voted for Donald Trump?
No, a majority of the people did not vote at all.
Yeah, you're right.
A majority of the people did not vote at all.
I agree. Why are most
majority
people
of the people
voting?
did not vote at all. Okay, which they need to get out and vote. Okay, which is why we're here to let them know in the next election, the next several elections, they need to get out and vote.
I agree.
Okay? And the thing is, a bunch of people, because of box and people like you said, oh, your vote's not worth anything.
No, I think voting matters a lot.
Well, then why are y'all sitting there taking people's votes away from people, huh?
Who?
Why are y'all taking, going in and saying, oh, we're going to sit there and get rid of a whole bunch of people's votes because, what, they're overseas and can't sit there and vote?
So
come on.
Wait.
Because the fact that you can't win if you take their votes away.
So
go away.
Illegal
Go away.
immigration.
Go away.
I thought we were going to have a
Bring it back, Krista. Oh my
Should illegal
goodness.
immigrants vote?
And there you have it. It's just like there was no nonsense there, and he couldn't let you get a word in edgewise. What is this like doing this? Because you said something to me before the show. You're like, if you can't take it, then don't do it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
This takes a lot of courage to do what you do.
Well, look, like I just want the truth, and I hate to be this way, but like both parties, hold on to some true. Obviously, the Republican Party has more true. That's why I'm voting Republican. But there's a lot of truth that the Democrats kind of hold on. I think it kind of takes one bad policy to screw up all of their truth. But I just want to know, what's the big deal? What's the problem? And the more that they insult you and the more that they scream at you, the more I know that you just don't know what you're talking about. And if you can kind of get past the insults and the screaming, they'll start to feel the vibe that you're not there to attack them. Although, you see this red hat or they see the red hat, they think otherwise. But eventually you just start asking, what's the issue? And a lot of them just don't know. They're uneducated, especially when you ask the first question and then you go on a deeper question. Well, Donald Trump is, authoritarian. Okay. What does that mean? He's going against the Constitution. Okay. What part of the Constitution?
Right.
And then they just don't know. So I just
Asking-
feel like open conversations, not trying to throw them under the bus for clicks, but just having an open conversation on both sides is really what's going to bring America together. And I think there's three parties. There's the right, there's the left, and there's the extreme. The extreme are on both sides. And it only takes one extreme person to make us all look bad. And unfortunately, the media just focuses on that. So,
yeah. That's amazing. The last weekend we had this No Kings protest. They did it from coast to coast. A lot of the turnouts were very small, dwindling, not really much of anything. We were also in Orlando at the time that I think you were there. But this really crossed the line. All you're doing is walking really in a group of people who are protesting with your hat, with a friend. And I want our viewers to see what took place. Now, again, this is the people that preach peace, love, and inclusion. Take a listen. Take a watch.
wait.
Hey, ho, ho! Donald Trump is your president. Hey, hey!
Donald Trump is your president.
Hey, ho, ho! Donald Trump is your president. Hey, hey!
Hey, hey.
Ho, ho!
Donald Trump is your president. Hey, hey. Is he gonna do a dance? Oh my God, he's gonna do the dance. Hey. Oh my God.
I got it all on video.
Bring it back, Krista.
Never woke. You were
I got
attacked.
attacked. I got
For saying
attacked.
Donald Trump is your president.
And doing the YMCA dance.
That is absolutely wild.
Yeah, it's not the first time. It's the first time where I was actually able to get it on video. And then my buddy has he was streaming the whole thing, so we got a better view. And that was actually in Tampa. This was a downtown Tampa.
Okay.
Blue
Seriously,
City,
that was in
blue
Tampa?
cops. Yeah, blue cops. And then the cop that I went up to, I was like, hey, can I, file a police report? It's the exact same cop from a year ago who threw me out of a public area for wearing a MAGA hat. So I'm like, this ain't going nowhere. So long story short, we have the information. We're just going to post it online and probably just drop it. I mean, we're going to file a police report. I just don't think anything's going to happen. So,
Okay, well, let me know because Tampa's my stomping grounds.
yeah.
And I do not like Jane Castor, and they do not like me. I am always calling them about something.
Oh, good.
Like I was removed. I went to a school board meeting and was told to put on a mask, and I politely said no. And the head, whoever it was, came up to me and was like, that's the rules and you got to do, why won't you wear one? I said, you're actually not allowed to ask me that. But since you want to violate my HIPAA rights, in order for me to go in and give my public comment, am I supposed to give you the answer? And he said, yes, otherwise you can't go in and speak. And I said, well, when I was raped and he held his hand over my mouth, I just will not ever submit to a mask. And he was like, oh, you didn't have to go into detail. So you didn't have to violate my HIPAA rights.
This is crazy.
After that, I called Jane Castor and I said, you guys need to figure out how to handle your school, whoever runs this department, because this is absolutely egregious. You cannot do this.
So you're no stranger to Tampa, whether it's those elected to represent you, whether they do or not. So Never Woke, you've got to let us know. Have you had any traction on finding out who these people are? And you said you're probably just going to maybe try to press charges. I don't know. You don't feel like it's going to go anywhere?
Yeah. So I posted online, hey, anyone knows, who this person is, whatever. And you'd be surprised how many people did some research, AI generated, even a lot of like former law enforcement did some research, and we found the girl. I just don't want to name the girl unless I 100% know it's her.
Right.
So like 99% sure that this is the person. I filed a police report. But as mentioned, if you're in a Democrat city, let's just be real. Like how far is this going to go? Probably nowhere, because the Democrats love crime, dude. The Democrats. This is why I left the Democrat Party for a second. They thrive on crime. Like there's a reason why they're blocking Donald Trump going into cities. It's because of crime. Because if we had safe cities, a good family, a good economy, then they lose control. But if you have all this chaos, you have to depend on the government like they're freaking gods. So it's like, it's whatever.
Well, and this is why it's so important for you to have good constitutional sheriffs, because if the police department is not doing their job, you can always go to a sheriff, and the sheriff should be allowed to help you, should be able to help you, should be willing to help you. I don't know about here in Tampa, but we do have a sheriff who is more of a politician than he is an actual constitutional sheriff. So
great. Good to know. We'll work together.
Good. Yeah. I love that. I love that. We know a lot of people in that area. So let me ask you. So obviously, the whole message behind Never Woke is being coming out against some of those really woke policies that we saw. I think it permeated in 2017, 2018, especially into our schools. But then with COVID, we all kind of saw what was happening. My question to you is, so it's obviously better for you to keep your identity behind Never Woke. But what do you say to people who would say, I don't think you should even be out there engaging. I don't think, because I've had people say this, mostly family, and they're just afraid for your safety. But so why do you continue to do this, even though something like that happens to you?
I just want to have conversations. I mean, honestly, like I want to know the truth. And a lot of times I hear something on the news, even right-leaning news, and I just question it. Is like, is that really true? And then you'll get to the protests and you'll realize, a majority of these people are just insane and brainwashed. So like, at least I know the truth now. So I just want to know firsthand information. And to be brutally honest with you, I really want America to be great again. I don't know if I consider myself a Republican. Like I voted Donald Trump 3 times. I'm more of a libertarian, conservative, whatever you want to title me. I don't care. Like, I just want the world to progress. So one thing I know is the more we're having an open conversation, the better. And we're going to be able to see eye to eye, maybe not agree. And that's completely fine. But like, that's how we're going to be able to get the world a better place and make America great again.
I love that. And so
like the Charlie Kirk body. I mean, everybody does it in a very different way. And I think that the most important part is having the conversations, not being afraid
100%.
to step into the fray and have those conversations. If we make it about the issue and not about personal things, then we can get to some kind of common ground, which is what Charlie was really good at doing. He would ask specific questions while that person was talking. He would listen first, right? Pick up the mic. Tell me what your issue is. Tell me what you want to talk about. He didn't go in and say, this is what I'm talking about. It's what do you want to talk about?
What do you want to talk about?
And then he would let them talk, and then he would respond, ask questions, because that's what you're supposed to do.
That's the Socratic method. It works.
Ask questions.
And here's what ends up happening, and you probably have found this a few times at least, Never Woke, is that people, when you start engaging with them, like, okay, so as women, I'll go to a school board meeting and I'll talk to people, they'll ask about my shoes. They'll ask about my purse. We'll start talking about sunglasses. We'll start, and they realize it's like, wait, you don't have horns. I thought you were the devil. And it's like, no, like, maybe we don't talk about abortion. Maybe we don't talk about the border. Maybe we just avoid those things. But here we do agree on some things. So I love what you do. I think our audience is going to just welcome you in as part of the family. So I want to make sure that you let them know nationwide, where can they follow you? Where can they find you? And how can we better help you?
Well, I don't know if this is a common trend every time I hang out with y'all, but I just got banned from Twitter. How do you get banned from Twitter? I don't know. The first time I met y'all, I got banned from TikTok. So find me on Instagram. I'm tired of all these platforms banning me. So Never Woke X on Instagram, and
Never Woke X on Instagram, y'all.
Well, maybe you're judged by the friends you keep.
I guess.
So, sorry.
Maybe we ended up getting our entire network banned off YouTube, but so you're welcome. I think.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not.
We hope that you don't get banned, though. That's terrible.
Well, we still want to hang with you in any way we can, because I know you're down here in Florida in our area a lot. So let's make sure we connect. Maybe do a live together. We're grateful for what you do. Please keep doing it.
Yeah, God bless y'all. Jesus is king. Donald Trump is your president, and the Democrats are obviously not in power because they're idiots. So God bless you.
Thank you. God bless you. Never. Thank you.
Oh, that was awesome.
That was amazing.
He said, "Jesus is your king. Donald Trump is your president, and the Democrats aren't in power because they're idiots."
No truer words have ever been spoken over the airwaves, and I
tap that screen if you think that's true. TikTok audience.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Slide into our comments, everybody, not our
DMs.
Because if you will say it in my DMs, I will put you on blast. Don't play with me.
Allie, I want to pivot just a little bit and talk about. Remember, we first brought here, I don't know, about a week ago, that there is I guess there was a campaign called Arctic Frost.
Yes.
Which we
I
knew nothing about.
And got nervous, and I was like, "Wait, what's happening? Is that a nor'easter? What's happening?"
I was just saying to a friend, aren't you glad that we haven't had any storms? Shh. And that's exactly what he said. But shh, lock it down. Don't say that. But Arctic frost. So this is not a nor'easter.
No.
This is something that took place under the Biden administration that we weren't privy to until recently. But take a look at these documents. The Biden administration, Attorney General, who called us moms at school board meetings, domestic terrorists. A.G. Garland, his deputy, Lisa Monaco, they and the director, it gets better, Christopher Wray, they physically signed off, guys, on an FBI probe that they codenamed Arctic Frost. What did this do? It allowed them, those that are in the intelligence community, to actually spy on members of Congress. They used the same process to do this as they did with that Steele dossier. They used that same FISA surveillance warrant. They collected data from our GOP lawmakers, from their phones. I mean,
every call, every incoming and outgoing call, the length of the call, the emails that went in and out, they literally spied on GOP lawmakers.
And yet we can't find out why they keep making millions upon millions of dollars off of a $175,000 a year salary. Insider trading, we can't get any of that stuff fixed. But you're going to spy on GOP and spy on their phones. Why don't we have access to all of their information if that's what we're going to do? All of the people elected.
Well, if they're allowed, think about this though. If they can do this to sitting representatives, don't you think they've been doing this to Americans for quite a long time?
Yeah, they called it the Patriot Act.
That part.
There was nothing patriotic about it. Tell me how two buildings crumble and a third one later, and that's all, like, we can talk about that at a different time, on 9/11, and all of a sudden, oh my gosh, we've got to get hyper intelligence across, we got to find out what they're doing overseas. And so how do we end up tapping our phones? How does that end up happening?
An uneducated voter populace that did not read the Patriot Bill.
But even I'm sorry, Attorney General Pam Bondi, she even came out right when she was sworn in and was talking about the Patriot Act and how she's for it. And it's like,
well, I mean, it was the same thing with Kash Patel. I mean, and I get that there are some things within the Patriot Act that are at that point and continuously a necessity when it comes to foreign terrorism. But foreign terrorists are here in America right now.
Foreign.
Because they've been allowed to infiltrate because of the open border with the Biden-Harris policies. So, I mean, it's...
Well, and listen, this is what my argument is every time somebody talks about the Patriot Act, because you want to be safe, right? So first of all, when they preach safety in exchange for your freedom, you're going to lose both. You're going to lose your freedom and safety. But second of all, if you're talking about somebody that has ties to foreign terrorists, whether they live here or not, whether they are born and raised here or not, if they have ties to foreign terrorism, you don't need a FISA warrant or a Patriot Act that says I can eavesdrop on Americans, because they're tied to foreign organizations.
That doesn't make any sense.
That's all you need is to say foreign organizations.
And that's it.
It's just crazy.
And we have current sitting elected representatives that have ties to Hamas.
Lord.
Rashida Tlaib.
Lord. Hey.
And Ilhan Omar.
Maybe while we're in D.C.
Yeah, maybe while we are in D.C. We'll
Maybe you'll hear the click clack of our heels. So somebody that we are definitely proud to have is our Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth.
He's awesome.
He's got a strong message for foreign terrorist organizations. And here it goes. Take a listen.
Our message to these foreign terrorist organizations is we will treat you like we have treated Al-Qaeda. We will find you, we will map your networks, we will hunt you down, and we will kill you. And you've seen that evidence in the maritime domains, whether it's in the Caribbean or in the Pacific with the last 2 strikes. We know exactly who these people are. We know what networks they work with, what foreign terrorist organizations they're a part of. We know where they're going, where they originated from, what they're carrying.
He's not playing. He is not.
That he said that. I do. I respect it. I don't love it. I respect it. I have reverence for Pete Hegseth, and I cannot wait to meet that man.
Yeah.
I think I might send him a box of cigars. I would love to smoke a cigar with him, a Liberty cigar, obviously, and drink some bourbon.
Obviously.
And just talk. The things that he has been able to do and right the ship of our military and make us more focused on lethality is just been incredible. He is an incredible pick for secretary.
It is just the epitome of playing offense.
Yes.
Any sports fans out there, football fans, you understand the importance of having a strong offense, strong offensive line, because you can't just play defense all the time. Love football. And that's part of what he understands. That's what the Trump administration understands, is there's no better deterrence than to say, we already know who you are. We know what organizations you've infiltrated. We know the tentacles of where that reaches, and we will 100% unalive you for trying to bring this kind of harm to our soil. I mean, you just put them on their heels because you've got to listen. It's like having a father in the home. It's just crazy.
She said it's like having a father.
I didn't want to say a daddy because people have been taking that out of context. Like that's okay. Listen. Anyway, let's pivot because you've talked about it.
Sorry, I was looking at my TikTok audience and they're a little wild this morning.
What are you all drinking? Cheers. Sorry. Elon Omar's district in Minneapolis. Listen. So she's come out and said many times that she's here advocating for Somalia.
Oh my
gosh. Her own country and for them. And that's not part of what she swore to take an oath for. She swore to take an oath to defend us and our Constitution. So I'm not shocked when I saw this news piece come forward out of her district in Minneapolis. Take a look.
Of dollars in taxpayer money out of the country. Lou Raguse has a look at the brand new charges today.
The 74th person to be charged in the $300 million Feeding Our Future meal fraud case, Ahmed Naji Sheikh, is the brother of one of the most notorious defendants, Abdi Aziz Farah, who was recently sentenced to 28 years in prison. Farah was convicted with a group of others of stealing $50 million of taxpayer money. Now his brother Sheikh is accused of helping him launder that money.
Now, in any normal country, this would cause a major backlash from the native population. But liberals actually want this. This is the greatest form of social justice. And anyone else who dares to speak out against programs getting robbed that are meant to feed hungry children are silenced and called bigots and racist and intolerant. And when you understand the entire game plan, it starts to make sense. Did you guys know that 25% of Somalia's GDP comes from remittance, money being sent from the United States to Somalia? So the strategy is to steal money from the American taxpayer, give Somali residents free housing, free food, free school, free healthcare, give them such a comfortable lifestyle that they can afford to have 4 or 5 children, while the native-born population struggles to have 1, 2 if they're lucky. And then as their population outgrows the native population, they have more political power. And then they can enact legislation that exclusively benefits Somali people. And the money that's not exclusively for them, they can just steal it through fraud.
Okay, wait. Hold on. He said 25 million goes to Somalia's GDP. So we're
25%.
25% of 25% of taxpayer dollars goes to Somalia.
So when
to help them in their infrastructure and their government.
So they're taking.
Sorry, what?
They're taking benefits that are made to help you in Minneapolis. Those of you that are struggling to provide for your families, they are finding that these Somalian nationals are taking those benefits to the tune of, I believe it was 50 million, and they are sending that overseas to Somalia to their family. And that the reason why you don't hear an uproar in those communities, those minority communities of, hey, you're stealing our funds, this should be going to, is because they're okay with it. This is the idea of their equity, right? They don't mind sending this information and this money over to Somalia because it's making a ruling class in Somalia more wealthy,
right?
Creating that divide. That's what socialism does. There is no middle class under socialism, you guys. There is the elite, and then there are those that serve the elite, and that's
exactly.
That's why
it's the same. It's the same with Iran and Afghanistan. So when you have these people that will bend the knee to tyranny, to tyrants, to radical Islam, radical socialism, radical communists, the dictators, the kings that are in these areas, they live wealthy. They're allowed to get away with not following the rules, like women over there that have to bend the knee to Sharia law and be covered up and not have a hair out of place. These women that are married into these families that are the wealthiest families that do support these radical regimes are allowed to walk around with their cleavage hanging out, their hair out, not dressed in all covered.
I didn't know that.
Right, yes, they are. But when you're not a part of this and you don't abide by this and you're not a part of like the royal family or a part of their administration or the high class, right, the highborn, you have to be completely covered up or you end up getting stoned to death for having a hair out of your hijab.
Well, like, and let me tell you something. The idea that other women have to cover themselves because your man can't help himself is the same thing as you taking a shot because it'll protect me. It's the same ideology, and we've already gotten people thinking that in this country, right? There's never been a time where you had to take a jab, and there goes our TikTok probably. There's never been a time that you've had to take a jab in order to protect somebody else.
Right, so I had someone say, that's all great, but it has absolutely nothing to do with trying to make with Americans. Right, absolutely. So this is why we are America First. This is why we want to pass the clean CR that is currently in the Senate right now that needs 60 votes, and all Republicans are voting for it, and there's 2 Democrats that are voting for it, 2 that are voting for it, and they're both from Pennsylvania.
Did you see John Fetterman on Hannity the other night? I don't watch a lot of Hannity, but it was kind of interesting.
Not on Hannity, but I did watch his live.
It was kind of interesting. Guys, let's forward now to New York City. I know we've got some in the audience here on TikTok that are watching us from New York City. Thank you for what you're doing by being conservative, America First, patriots, and staying in New York City because you have to fight for that battleground, guys. We don't want to see Mandami as the next mayor. He is just the most extremist of the extreme. So Mayor Adams has come out and endorsed Cuomo to try to just get everybody to line up behind one candidate. Anybody but Mandami. Take a look.
Anybody but Mandami.
And so this was a grueling time. And yes, am I angry that I'm not the one taking down John, the socialists and the communists? You're darn right I am. But you know what? The city means more to me than anything. And it is time for us as a family to come together. New York can't be Europe, folks. I don't know what is wrong with people. You see what's playing out in other countries because of Islamic extremism. Not Muslims, let's not mix this up. But those Islamic extremisms that are burning churches in Nigeria, that are destroying communities in Germany, that have taken over the logical thinkings. And that's what I'm fighting for. I'm fighting for the family of New York.
I mean, and there you have it. Obviously we've differed on some things with Mayor Adams, but as soon as he started to pivot and see really what was happening with the draining of resources in these sanctuary states and these sanctuary cities, he spoke out against it. Wow, did the Democrat Party turn their back on him really, really, really quick? Because you're not allowed to have independent thought as a Democrat, like just shut up and do what you're told. Allie, so I'm glad to see that he's thrown his support behind Cuomo. Hopefully that'll help. If you're in that New York City area, get out and vote. Early voting has already started. If you're in New Jersey, make sure you're out voting for Chitterelli. If you're in Virginia, make sure you're out voting for Winsome Sears. big elections happening on November 4th, but early voting is now, so make sure you get out.
So I made a comment the other day, I think it was yesterday, after I heard Adams get behind Cuomo. I know that there are a lot of New Yorkers out there that will not put their vote behind Cuomo because of what he did to New York.
Absolutely. And he killed all those people.
I agree with that. I understand that. I do agree with you that I do think that Cuomo does deserve to be in jail because of the egregious overstepping of government operating outside of his lane and proper roles of his position. He should be in jail for the things that he did during the shutdown. However, that in comparison to radical Islam makes him look like a saint.
I mean, this guy is like Obama. He reminds me of like an Obama clone, like a younger Obama clone.
It is not good. It's not good. So I would really encourage everybody that is in New York City to vote honestly. Anybody but Mamdani.
Anybody
you cannot
but
vote
Mamdani.
for this man. You just can't. It is not going to be good for New York. It will not be good for America. And there will be more people that will suffer from it. So I'm just, please.
Please. So, guys, we're going to go on to just a little bit on a lighter side. We have the White House in true White House fashion. I love that they keep a fingertip on the pulse of culture and what you and I are talking about, because they've gone through, so many people are saying that Trump is destroying an iconic White House. It's not his house.
Please.
Why is he doing all these renovations? Leave it to the White House to give you a history lesson of renovations at the White House. Take a listen.
I love it.
Look at this.
It's like a timeline.
Oh, it's happened then, and then again then.
So TikTok family, you
And
guys
then
can
again
go to wh.gov/renovations to find this, and it's actually really cool.
So Trump isn't the first person to repaint, tear down a wall, build something additional to it. I mean, this has been ever since the birth
of the White House.
Wow. And I bet Obama's in there. I bet Clinton's in
meeting
there.
with the Islamic Brotherhood, the Muslim Brotherhood.
Lord Jesus. Well, we can bring it back, Krista. Thank you for that. So leave it to the White House to give you a little bit of a history lesson. Don't believe the hype of what the left is trying to say or lamestream media. However, we do have a meme of the week, ladies and gentlemen. Drum roll.
Meme of the week.
Take a look. This is great. Hillary Clinton chimes out, it's not his house, it's your house, and he's destroying it. Trump says,
I may name it the Monica Lewinsky Ballroom.
No, he didn't. So somebody else had said, your husband had sex in the Oval Office. Maybe sit this one out,
He
Hillary.
did not use that word, but
what did he say?
Fellatio.
Are you allowed to say that, Patriot?
I said the proper word. I didn't say the other word.
Maybe Miss Clinton, it
rhymes with bed.
This one out, and you
go
go
on your neck.
You go with like your husband's Slick Willie, and you kind of work on your marriage.
Right? Like I think everybody on TikTok is cracking up. He said, "Do you mean gelato?"
Cigar bowl. Just for the record.
I love our TikTok family. Y'all are awesome.
Oh, I'm sorry, Patriot. We love you so much. And well, you knew what you were getting. So
but that was hilarious.
They think we're crazy. We are.
No, they don't. They think we're funny.
That's why they probably wouldn't elect us onto the same board.
No, we would not serve on the same board.
Like
this, it would be wild. Like this would be us.
Allie, look at her shoes.
Your light is on. Unhinged today.
Hey.
Unhinged today. It is.
Did you hear the story, guys, about female spies now that are in Silicon Valley? So, with where all the headquarters for all the social media, and they're waging sex warfare.
China and Russia.
To steal Silicon Valley secrets. So
even to get married and have children with their prospects.
Because they're trying to steal secrets. So leave it to Elon Musk to say this. Take a look.
He chimes in and he says, if she's a 10, you're an asset 100%. And I'm like, oh, come on.
Okay, wait. This took me a little while to get. I was like, if she's a 10, then you're an asset. What does that mean? Because I was thinking, if you're a 10, then you're an asset to somebody. But no, he's saying, if you're with somebody, if you look in the mirror, if you're honest and you look in the mirror, And you're like, yeah, I could probably pull a 7 or a solid 6. I mean, I'm smart. I make good money, maybe an 8. But you're really with a 10 and you know she's a 10. You're being used. My goodness. That is not love. That's what Elon Musk is saying.
Honestly, I don't even really think she needs to be a 10.
No, she's got a good personality. That's what you're saying. Oh, Lord.
What does the song say? Don't trust a big butt and a smile.
It's poison. Belle Biv DeVoe.
Yep.
All right, where are my 90s kids out there?
Poison.
I know what we're listening to on our road trip. Oh, Belle Biv DeVoe, Bobby Brown. You know why our generation has trust issues? Do you want to know why?
What?
So Bobby Brown.
Bobby Brown.
And his song, Ain't Nobody Humping Around. What's he doing?
Humping around.
Thank you. Thank you. We don't trust anybody.
Musk is talking about intelligence honeypots. Yes, of course.
I mean,
Of course. Which it's not just Silicon Valley. I mean, it happens in Congress all the time. Why do you think the staffers walk around, or even why do you think the staffers that are single women walk around with mini skirts and their boobs hanging out? There's a reason for that. There's a reason for that.
Honeypot ain't always sweet. And so can we just say, because I do love Elon Musk, and he's kind of like a long lost brother to the administration. We do love him, and I love his humor. But he got a lot of baby mamas.
He does. I think he's trying to create like
a harem.
Lord, I don't know.
His own space force. I don't know.
His own space force.
I love you, Elon, and I don't mean any shade. I just mean it's kind of funny that you could give advice on this, because
he might know a thing or two.
He might know a thing or two. He might now be able to spot them walking into the room.
Trying to steal Elon Musk's secrets. I mean, he's in the data mining, right? Where we're going, you guys, we need to be really careful with, because it's going to be all about data.
Oh, our school districts are doing this now. They're doing data sharing agreements with third parties, and claiming that. Oh, absolutely. And the school district is signing it off like with a rubber stamp. Here, it's a twofold, guys. And before we leave, I just want to make sure you understand this. In your districts, your school boards are sharing data of your. Stop it! I've got ADHD and I can't do both. And so, whether it's a local university that wants to know, how many of your students are of this ethnicity, or how many of them are reading on this level. But it's all data. They are sharing it. Sometimes they're making money off of it. But it's the reason why all of those surveys that they send home and they want you to fill out. First of all, you can opt out of them. You don't have to. Yeah. But this is why, because they're trying to rake in your data.
And it's also how they can market to you better with all of the data that they have. And how can they skew your mindset? And yes, that too. All right, you guys, we are coming up on the end of our show. Sad to leave you all, and so sorry for our TikTok audience that could not hear. I promise I'm going to figure out how to fix this.
Guys, we will be in Naples tonight at an AI education symposium, getting ahead of the curve to figure out what do we want in our classrooms when it comes to AI and what don't we want.
Yeah, no, it'll be good. We will bring you information on that next week. Guys, we hope that you enjoy your weekend. Remember to stay bold, stay loud, and never put the mic down. We love y'all.
Thank you. God bless you. Have a good weekend.
Red has stays on. Red has stays on.